welcome back to another episode of our Power Hour Talk Show right here at the Hotspots. I hope you're doing great. As for us, I believe you're all fine as well. Hi Octavia, hi Signet. Welcome, are we good?
Yeah,
nice to
very
meet
good
you.
thing.
I will start with Signet. How would you like to say, do you agree that it's a parent's responsibility to be educating their kids about sex?
I 100% agree, because parents are the first influencers of children at home. Like, before anything else, the parents influence the children, and the parents are supposed to guide their children, not only in monetary affairs or maybe just talking about relationships in any way. They're also supposed to talk about sex and and everything that comes with it. They must be open so that children may have the knowledge. Because I feel like at schools, they do talk about it, but not to that stage.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think parents should discuss with their children.
Alright. Thanks, Signet. Let's hear from Octavia. What would you like to say about this?
I 100% agree with Signet, because your responsibility as a parent is basically to make sure that your children have the best opportunity in future for their lives. So if you're going to teach them about absolutely everything, which includes sex, you're going to give them a better understanding on what to expect for their future. So it is the parents' responsibility to make sure they understand everything that's happening and why it's necessary or not necessary in certain circumstances.
Okay, would you like to tell me what age do you think is the best age to teach your kids?
I was thinking about that, and I think at least 12 or 13 years old, because that's when puberty starts in your body, and that's when your body starts getting changes and you are not sure what is happening. I think those between 12 and 13 years old is the best time to talk about the body's changing, it's preparing for something that's going to happen in future to bring certain things about. I think that's when you should.
Signet, do you agree with that? You think 12 to 13 is the best?
100% agree. 12 or 13 is definitely the best. Though I would also like, in some situations, because other girls go through their menstrual cycles when they're 10 years old. I feel like with girls, maybe we can start at 10, but with boys, we can start around 12, 13.
So you think ladies should start first? Girls?
In terms of the age, because I feel like girls are more at the receiving end of the of sexual activities than boys.
Okay.
100% agree with Signet.
Okay. Do you think that is every parent will be able to tell their kids about, to educate their kids about sex? Or do you think this?
Some parents are more conservative, but it's essential that they talk to their children about sex. There is some households where you can't even mention the word, but what that means is you're going to go find out by your friends, you're going to go find out outside, you're going to mess up and make mistakes first while finding out. When you are telling your child about sex at the ages of 10 for ladies and 12 to 13 for males.
Thank you, let's hear from Signet. What about the parent that says it's better they find out from outside because I don't want to be perhaps putting something, an idea into their head before time?
I feel like they say prevention is better than cure. Because there are certain situations that come with sexual intercourses, like pregnancy, STDs, STIs, HIV, of which HIV is a permanent thing. There's no cure yet for HIV, but it's a permanent thing. So it's better to actually educate your children so that you won't have to try and console them in the future when you could have avoided the whole thing by talking to them.
As if you were to be a parent like now, like what type of questions or how will you start a conversation with your child?
I'm known to be a very direct person. I would be direct. There's no need to go through the corners. It's not something that we want children to feel ashamed of, because it's gonna happen either way, and it is happening. So I don't think as a parent you should feel ashamed to talk to your children about such things. Because there's nothing embarrassing about it. It happens.
Maybe not to you exactly,
Yeah.
specifically. Sometimes you feel like, oh my God, how do I even start?
Yeah, that's true. But like, as a parent as well, you should also like put aside your fear, your embarrassment, put it on the side and think about your child, how it's going to benefit the child. It's not necessarily about you, it's about the child now. And also, if you can discuss such things with your children, I feel like it helps them in future to actually discuss anything with you. They can feel free and be open with you about anything. So there are benefits in the long run.
Okay, thank you. That's it from Octavia. Octavia, what about kids who's growing with guardians away from the biological parents?
Yeah.
How do you approach that type of topic to them?
So for children without parents, sadly, who have guardians or someone else look after them, then it's the school system that has to start implementing sex education. And I think it should start from the parents, but then the church and the school system have a responsibility to explain to children what is happening. The reason why I say the church is because there's so much scandal that can happen from church aspects. So it's better that they also lead the conversation to say your body is your property, and if you don't feel comfortable with anything, you say that to any other adult you trust. So it should be our healthcare systems, our religious systems, and our education systems that are the backup support if the parents can't have those conversations with the children.
Okay. Alright, if you just joined us, we are discussing, is it parents' responsibility to educate the kids about sex? What do you think right there where you are right now? Let us know what you think about this topic. As for us, we're just getting deeper into this topic, okay? I'm still with you, Octavia, okay? Let's say your daughter comes to you and said to you, this little child, a little boy who somehow approached them and did some touching or asked them, way out as you did it. As a parent who never spoken to your child before about sex, how do you go about that?
How old is my child at this point?
Let's say the child is 8, 9.
And they're having a boyfriend at school.
Mm-hmm.
In that regard, I'd want her to understand.
Remember, you say it from 12 to 13.
Yeah.
So now it's a young
age
one.
is quite small.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume that this is just a play date, that there's parents watching them at all times.
Okay.
I'll maybe call the mom of this boy that I've heard now, and I'll talk to her and discuss this play date. And is there always going to be someone in the room with him? Because I don't know what the boy's watching, I don't know what he has access to, I don't understand his manner of growing up. So I'll call the parents, talk to the parents, and discuss that there's always going to be chaperone if I leave my daughter with him, just to know. Then I'm going to tell my daughter that her body is her own, and that if she feels at all uncomfortable, she is going to tell someone about it, because I don't think I'll leave my child. I don't know if I'll let her go out with somebody at that age. It doesn't feel right. Just thinking about it now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the statement. In that scenario, what would you do?
Okay, first, thank God you said that at the end, because I was going to say that at the beginning. Hell to the no, okay? I really pray that if I ever have a daughter, nobody's going to ask her out of that age. But at the same time, I also still do feel like if, you said how old? 9? 8? At that age, I don't feel like they're that much exposed to such things. So usually when they say a date, it's probably like when you have to go with both the parents with the children to the park or something. It's not really like a date, it's just like a play date. So I don't think I will talk about sex in that scenario, because I don't see it as something that's serious.
You wouldn't be worried at that time yet?
No, I wouldn't be worried.
So you could let them go and just feel like, okay.
Yeah, I would, but obviously there has to be a guardian around them, not only watching them because maybe they might do something, like might have sex or something like that, but also because of their children. Anything can happen. They need guardians. What if someone decides to kidnap them? and stuff like that. So, but I don't think that at that age, their mindsets will be there yet, because I feel like at that age also their feelings are not yet that matured to feel like how
to know that they love.
Yeah.
To feel like how you feel.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How did you just jump in?
Yo, people watching this, I don't know what he's talking about, but I know you do. So yeah, that's what I think.
So do you think, okay, for a mom's daughter, your perspective is different to the mom's son? Do you think
Yes.
the son's mother will be also thinking the same thing right now? Like, my son is not yet, feelings not yet matured. Or what if the boy has got more ideas and more thoughts actually into this dates thing?
In most cases, like, how do I say? In most cases, the mothers of the sons, they never be like that much concerned compared to the girl. As you grew up in an African home, the boy will literally go out and play until it's 9 in the night. But as a girl, when you go out, you need to be back by 4 or by 5 at least. So I don't think the mother of the boy will even be thinking that far. But as girls, our parents always try to protect us. And I think I'll also do my best to protect my daughter from this. Yeah.
Okay, we got it. Thank you. We're coming back to Octavia. Will you teach your kids about condoms?
Yes, 100% I will, because condoms are a good prevention for a lot of diseases and pregnancy. So at this day and age in the society, I cannot prevent my children from doing anything. What I can do is educate them enough that they'll do stuff safely. So I would want them to know about all possible viruses. I'd want them to know about ways that they could get any diseases and things like that, any places where they could be more prone to violence or being attacked from, and then condoms and the safe use of condoms.
Okay. So for the parents, we usually take their own kids to the clinic,
Yeah,
teaching them about contraceptives and all things. Do you agree with that?
I do. I think the more children know, the safer they're going to be.
Don't you feel like you're now exposing them into it?
You
Giving
expose
them
them.
go ahead.
No, what you do say is that, listen, I will not allow this. I will not allow this in my house, but I'm not trying to make you go out and find out from your friends or be naive in this world where people are like, oh no, it's not necessary, or you don't need it, or trying to fool you into something where you know everything, you know why it's there, you know why you don't need it, why you do need it, you're going to make better decisions in life. Like, at a certain age, the child is their own responsibility. All you're trying to do is give them the best possible chance for their future. So I will sit them down and say, this is now when they're old enough, I'll sit them down and say, this is all the possible scenarios you're going to have in your life. Make good choices, but this is all the tools you need to survive life in any which way. That's what we need. We need to be able to survive life, and the more you know, the better you do.
Signet, how about you? Would you take your child to the clinic and tell them, you know what, she needs to start contraceptive now?
I would. No, I wouldn't go there and say she needs to start contraceptives now. But like what she said, you take them so that they can be educated and know that these things exist. I feel like that's why in Africa we have a lot of problems because of the mentality. Parents always feel like if they tell their children this, then they're actually the ones exposing them to it. But they forget that 90% of the times the children are outside. They have different people influencing them to do different things. You understand? So if you are going to leave a room or a gap for people to come in and put ideas in their head, you might not be able to come back and remove those ideas from them. So you need to be the first one to take the first step and actually guide them and lead them. I feel like that's guiding for me. So you take them to the clinic, even if you don't take them to the clinic, but either way, sometimes also they feel better if they talk to a nurse than you. They get all the necessary information so that they can make a decision like what she says, that you say, here are the cards on the table. Now it's up to you to choose what you want. It's better than when the child does something and then only then you want to come in and be like, listen, and then the child will be like, but you never told me. I didn't know. You understand? You allow me to. Being a good parent does not mean like you're 1000% strict. Being a good parent means you guide your children and you give them all the necessary information they need. Not you saying, don't go out, don't have a boyfriend, don't have sex.
Why?
No.
Why you shouldn't go out? Why you shouldn't have a boyfriend? Why you shouldn't
Exactly. Put it there, put all the cards on the table. Let them think. They have their own minds. They can think. Especially when they're getting to their teen years, early 20s. It's their own brain that's working now. Give them options. Let them decide. Don't try to tame or control. Because the more you try to control, is the more that we end up doing what is exactly the opposite of what you say. Just so that they can prove to you like, I can do this. You know? So be a friend.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier, Tanya, that you wouldn't mind taking your child to the clinic. At what age is it? Before you notice the sign that your child is involved into?
Yes, I would say when, if it's a daughter, I will say when she is menstrual cycling, because now there's a chance that she could fall pregnant, whether she's now having sex or whether something's happening to her. There is a chance where she'll have a baby. So I would say when she's started her menstrual cycle, I would, like Sigrid says, give her the options and put the cards on the table. Especially, like I said, in this day and age, it is harder. Back when we were much younger, things were a lot easier, things were more stricter, you know, there was a lot of things.
So you think if we to tell your child to abstain right now, it wouldn't be?
I don't think so.
Guaranteed.
Peer pressure is a real thing.
I feel like you don't tell them to abstain.
Yeah.
You'd rather say, baby, I'd rather you don't do this. But if you ever get into a situation, here's what's up, here are the consequences, here's the way you can prevent, yes, just give all the information. It's important.
At what age, do you think
Like,
your child should be now sexual active?
If I had a way, I'm still African. I'm an African woman. I believe in having sex after you're married. But in this day and age, with these boys, it's very difficult to reach that point. You understand? But I don't want to dictate for my child when to do something. It's not a good thing. As a parent, yes, I can advise and say, baby, I really hope or wish that you would like experience certain things at this time. But I don't stay with the child, like I say, 24/7. The child can still come back and say, no, I haven't done it, you know? But maybe they've done it. So that's why I'm like, I don't have a specific age for them. Only God knows.
And where does the church now comes in?
The church, in terms of like when they have what they call girls ministry, this is a place where you can discuss girl stuff. Where they have the boys ministry, this is where they can discuss the boys stuff. Like what they do with the mothers, usually they call it the Thursday for mothers or what, I don't know. They discuss about husbands and what, you know that. In churches, there should also be like, I'm pretty sure in other churches there is, but like where there's like that girls, instead of discussing what should
like a youth thing.
Yeah, instead of discussing what should we buy the deacon, they should be discussing issues affecting people in the real world as well. You know, that's what I think.
Okay, Octavia, how about you?
Yeah, no, to add on what Simon said, there has to be players in the church that show you, there has to be people in your healthcare system. So even if the girls are not going to the clinic necessarily for that, I think the nurses should explain their options as well. What the condoms that they give out free at schools and at varsities, because the varsity is another big deal. So as long as your children know what is expected of them, they make better choices when it comes to varsity. But being able to get condoms and sex education from healthcare systems and from church, it would be a benefit for those who don't get it at home. A lot of people don't have the luxury of talking to their parents about these things, and then they have to find out other ways, and they don't get all the information like that. So,
Can I add something? I forgot to say. I also feel like self-esteem plays a very big role when it comes to sex and children and stuff. If you as a parent succeeds to teach your child to stand their ground, speak their mind, and believe in themselves, trust me, that child can meet a man, and the man will tell her, well, if you can't give me this, I can't be with you. And she will be like, here's the door, baby. Because you've taught your child to be strong within. Most of the times, most of the children are damaged. They're just trying to look for someone who can love them. So when someone just comes in and shows them and acts as if this could be the person that can fill the void that's in my heart, let me give it a chance. It doesn't matter even if I have to give away my innocence. It's fine. I'm going to be with this person is going to love me. And that's how it starts. And then as time goes on, when that child gets tired of trying to look for love, they just say, oh, it doesn't matter. Let me just do it anyway. Everyone is doing it. And I've already done it, so let me just continue. So like self-esteem, teaching your children self-esteem and self-worth is important. Like especially now, what made me think about it is the fact that you're talking about varsity.
Yeah.
You see, varsity is a tough world.
Yeah.
If you're not strong mentally, emotionally, and you don't know yourself, you will go with the wind. Especially starting from high school, varsity gets worse. Teach your children to love themselves. Teach your children to be sure about what they are doing and to stand on what they want to do and not to be influenced by other people. Teach them that if they don't have to follow trends, they can be the ones to start the trends.
So would you like to say that it's the way also the parent relationship is with the kids?
100%. 100%.
So you should have this open relationship from the very start.
You should have
friendly with your child, so it's whenever there's an issue, they know to run to first.
Be friendly with your child. Support your child. Encourage your child. Speak life into your child. When your child does something, baby, I'm proud of you. Don't go start by saying, oh my God, oh, so you got 92%? Like, couldn't you get 100? That's very wrong.
Is there someone who got 100 in your class?
Yeah, that's
how did that person do it?
Exactly. So you are actually the person that can build your children first. If your children can be strong and can withstand whatever word comes from outside, certain things will not even reach your children. Because they know, one, I'm loved at home, so I don't have to go look for love anywhere else, and if no one can love me, I don't really care. Two, my parents support me, support my visions, so I'm not going to go out there and look for someone who can support me and support my visions. Three, my parents provide for me, so I don't have to go out there and look for someone who can provide for me. You understand what I mean?
Because a lot of things right now, they're just running after provisions.
Provision. Do you understand what I mean? So, be the guide of your children in everything. Not just the fact that you're parents and you want your children to wash dishes and it's no. If you can parent your children right, you will raise the most greatest people in this world.
Very well.
October 22nd, I would like to encourage one parents out there who's not sure where to start, how to begin this conversation with a child, who's shy, who also never had the opportunity with their parents back then.
Right? Okay, I would say that think about yourself when you are 13 years old. You are so easily influenced by life and you're so sensitive also. So go back into that time and say, what would you have wanted someone to tell you? So I would say that to my 13-year-old self. I'm like, girl, you're going to be okay. Like, sensitive for you. I would say, ask a sister, ask an aunt to go and have that conversation. Because as an aunt now, I also know it's my responsibility to prepare my niece, to prepare my nephews, to make sure that they have someone to go to when they don't understand. Because you're going to have that, who am I going to call? Who am I going to tell that this has happened now? That it didn't go the way it was supposed to, or that you're in the situation that you never felt that you'd be in. Like, where you going to go? I'm like, go to that safe space, go to that safe person, find a safe person that you can communicate to as a young one. Parents become that safe person.
All right. That's it from us for today. Thank you so much for joining us. That was really great from our panelists. You've heard it, so it is parents' responsibility as first to educate their kids about sex, and then the church, the school comes next. So open up with your child, from the age of 8, 9, already you can talk to them about anything. It just depends on how you have your relationship with your child from the very start. Alright, thank you so much from us. Let us know right below in the comment section. Send us your topic suggestions, and it could be our next topic right here at the hotspot. Alright, thank you so much. Until next time, we out. Cheers.